Have you ever stopped to think about what might happen if you fired a gun in outer space? Imagine pointing one at an asteroid, or maybe just into the endless abyss. What would occur? Since there's no oxygen in space and fires can't burn there, it's natural to assume that pulling a trigger wouldn't even work. But that assumption is actually wrong. Guns can fire in space, though the results would be very different from shooting one here on Earth. And for that, you can thank the laws of physics. So today on Life's Biggest Questions, we're exploring what would really happen if you shot a gun in space. In fact, firearms have already been to space. For years, Russian astronauts carried survival packs that included a rather unusual 3-in-1 gun. It had 3 barrels, a stock that doubled as a shovel, and even a fold-out machete. Now, before you think it was meant for battling aliens, the truth is more practical. These weapons were designed for emergency landings back on Earth, in case astronauts found themselves stranded in remote areas. Here's why a gun works in space. Modern firearms carry their own oxidizers, which are chemicals that allow the gunpowder to ignite without needing atmospheric oxygen. But what happens after the trigger is pulled is where things get really interesting. Newton's third law, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, applies perfectly here. If you were floating freely in a spacesuit and fired a gun, the bullet would fly forward while you'd be pushed backward. On Earth, recoil is absorbed by gravity, the ground beneath your feet and your body bracing itself. But in microgravity, the same recoil would gently push you the opposite way. Surprisingly, it wouldn't hurt. You'd simply drift backward. There's also a huge difference in how the bullet itself would behave. On Earth, bullets are slowed by air resistance, but in the vacuum of space, there's no atmosphere to drag them down. That means a bullet could keep traveling indefinitely, unless, of course, it collided with something. To be clear, bullets don't move faster in space, they just never slow down. Interestingly, since there's no air, you wouldn't hear the shot at all. The smoke, too, would look strange, expanding into a sphere around the barrel rather than a rising puff. But firing a gun in space isn't without risk. Near massive celestial bodies, gravity could alter a bullet's path. Fire one horizontally in the right spot, and the bullet could actually curve into orbit, potentially circling back toward you. Near a planet like Jupiter, with its immense gravity, even a poorly aimed shot would be pulled into orbit, accelerating to astonishing speeds of up to 60 kilometers per second. So while it's unlikely that you, or anyone you know, will ever shoot a gun in outer space, it's fascinating to imagine the physics at play. A simple trigger pull could send you drifting away, launch a bullet on an infinite journey, or even trap it in the grip of a planet's gravity. Space changes everything.